People of the Tube, today we are revisiting themes from my very first video wherein I discussed, among other things, the George Zimmerman trial. You'll remember I ranted about Governor Rick Perry when he suggested our justice system was inherently colorblind, just, and basically a sky full of rainbows and flying puppies. In the governor's defense, though, he did remind us that the US has the greatest justice system in the world. So how can we really argue with that? Pretty solid line of reasoning, I admit, when all I had to offer were statistical facts. Listen, I'm not normally into slamming any one person or political party. But if you plan on saying things like our justice system is just and colorblind, you better not be the governor of a state where people who murder whites are more likely to get the death penalty than people who murder blacks. Because if you are asking for my rant. And that's just another fact for you. Now about that judicial system of ours, recently there was a tragic case of statutory rape involving a high school teacher and a 14-year-old girl. The girl later took her life. And the rapist? Yeah, he got 30 days in prison. I actually can't believe I'm about to say this, but it gets surprisingly worse. The judge who oversaw this case said that the girl was older than her chronological age and had as much control over this situation, over what happened to her, as the teacher did. Mind implosion! The judge later apologized for these comments, saying that he didn't know what he was even trying to say at the time, but the remarks didn't reflect his beliefs. Great. That means that you're changing the sentence of the rapist to, what, 30 years? Oh no, he still gets 30 days in prison. I was just apologizing for what I said, not what I did. Finally, after a big public outcry, the judge responded by saying, "You know that 30-day sentence I gave to a rapist? Yeah, well, I looked into it, and technically my sentencing might not have even been legal in the state of Montana, like at all. Because apparently the minimum sentencing for someone convicted of rape in that state is 2 years. You'd think that the judge handling this case would know that, or, I don't know, maybe look it up. I don't know how the judge passed the bar, but clearly somebody lowered it for him. But I want to ask you, and feel free to answer in the comments, is this a just return, even if the man gets the minimum sentence of 2 years after a girl was raped and then lost her life probably because of it? Wait a minute, weren't we going to examine the justice system, not just one sensational cherry-picked case? Yes, but all my point really needs is one sensational cherry-picked case. Because I'm illustrating the fact that our justice system isn't always necessarily just. It isn't some sort of a supercomputer that takes in variables and outputs instant justice. No, our justice system is operated by people, meaning that it can only be as effective, as just, as the people who run it. From the judge to the jury and everybody in between. Our justice system is what we make of it. And of course that leads to broader questions of our collective ability to sustain a government that depends in large part on its citizens' opinions. Which is why I take these things so seriously, because it is just another reason to be actively thinking, informed individuals who happen to care about their fellow human being and other important stuff. Because not to be simplistic, but to some degree, our government, our world, is what we make it. And making it a good one begins with every one of us. Begins with you. As always, thanks for watching Ravlog, and if you liked it, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't already subscribed, and please comment, ask questions. You know there is never enough time for me to say everything I want to say. Believe me when I say this, there's a lot more we can talk about, so feel free to continue the discussion below, and I would love to see you next week.